I received a phone call a minute ago, and I think it just bumped me offline. So I think I have some balance now. We're gonna give it another shot. Hello. Let me see if I can get this set up a little bit more so it's steady. Okay. Hi. Ah! It's not very steady. So here I am again. I decided to come on spontaneously and talk to the people, talk to you about what's been happening. Hi, Ronald Scott. How are you? It's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute. I've been doing my thing out here in the world. I've been living majorly, like major stuff happening. What happened, you may ask? I'm about to tell you. Oh, you guys, I've been working. And I've not been working like job working, but I've also been like working. Hi, Rosa, TG. Hi, everybody. Saying hello. Thank you. So nice. Having my glasses so I can see you very, very clearly. Billy Kirby, hello. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm glad I'm back too, Robert. I needed a break. I really did. I needed to just stop. I needed to pause. And I had to take care of myself, you know? So I'll tell you guys this. I have been doing a ton of energy work. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you may have heard me talk about energy work before. You may have heard me talk about different practices I do, like the abundance group we did in January, and setting intentions and different things like that too. Like people talk about manifestation, it's all that kind of stuff. Just really, really, really being very focused and specific about what kind of life I want to create, what types of experiences I want to have, how I want to feel day to day, who I want to have in my life, everything, you know, how I want to live, where I want to live, just everything. And I got to the point where I was like, you know, I feel like I'm in a really good place, but now I want to see like what else is there that I'm not aware of. You know, if I'm in my own way to any extent, let me see that. Let me see my blind spots. So let me say this to you. You know the saying, be careful what you wish for? Well, yeah. So lots of stuff has been coming up for me over the past few months that I really felt I needed to pay attention to. And I needed to just be quiet to go within and to do that work, to do the inner work. And it wasn't so much actually in my case doing work, like having to do something. It was just basically being still enough to notice what I was receiving, what messages and signs and things I was receiving. And why would I be telling you guys this? Right? Why am I telling you my very personal business? Because I think it's important. And I think there are many people who may not have any idea about this kind of stuff. Like there's something called quantum energy. And like, what is that even? I'm not even going to go into it because I really can't explain it. But if you are interested, look up quantum energy and how you can use that to shift your life. You know, quantum, not even quantum physics, but just quantum energy. There's a quantum energy healing. There's just a lot around vibration and frequency and our thoughts and how we attract things and all of that. And so I was trying to go deep into it. You know, I've studied some of that stuff for a long time. And I read something recently. It was like not a meme, but something I saw online that basically said, the life you're living now is the life you dreamed of before. So enjoy it, right? Don't be so busy trying to get to the next thing that you completely miss where you are now. And specifically that spoke to me because I really have created this life. This is the life that I dreamed of, you know, some years ago. I'm here. And it's been amazing and beautiful and revelatory and challenging and all these things and interesting. My life, I wanted it to be really interesting and fun, and it is. And so, but I was like, yeah, let me not be so busy being excited about what's next that I miss what's happening here. So as I said, I just took some time to appreciate all of that and to see, okay, if I want more, if I want better, if I want, you know, to just go deeper, what do I need to do? And so things came up. And And I will say I've been noticing little things here and there over a period of months. And like, for example, some relationships became really challenging. And I was like, why is this happening? And, I'm usually pretty cool with everybody, but then one little glitch here and another glitch there. And, somebody's feelings are hurt or it's like one thing after another, which is very unusual for me. And I was like, well, what's the common denominator? It's me. So let me take a look at myself. So, I know I was going to say that sometimes we either don't, like many people aren't willing to do this kind of work, aren't willing to be that introspective and go that deep and be that honest with themselves to really see, like, what is your shit? What are the habits and conditions and patterns and beliefs that we all have formed over our lifetimes because of, how we were raised, maybe something happened to us, some trauma or something we heard over and over again that became a belief. Am I sure I'm cool with everyone? No, I'm not always cool with everyone. No. But often I let stuff roll off my back. So listen now for a minute. So we become who we are because of our, collective and lived experiences, right? Good, bad, or otherwise. Hi, Boris. Boris is my friend, you guys, from way back. He's super special. So yeah, a lot of us are not willing, or some people aren't even aware. Some people, let's just be fair, right? Some people aren't even aware about how you can improve yourself or how you can get to the root of some things that may be holding you back or affecting you. Maybe not even holding you back, but like, why do you behave the way you do sometimes? Why do you respond to certain stimuli or triggers or whatever the way that you do? And you'll see sometimes, like I've been seeing a lot of this stuff lately, like, oh, your triggers are your areas that are there to teach you, like where you still need healing. So if, I don't know, you get caught up in traffic and every time it just pisses you off and you want to cuss somebody out, or a certain person speaks to you in a certain way or doesn't say something to you, somehow you have a feeling about that. Oh my gosh, this person walked into the room and didn't speak, and so they must be whatever. You know what I mean? It's like we all can interpret things differently, but it could be the exact same thing. And we have 10 people and each one of us interprets it differently. And it's because we each come to it with our own filter, but you only see the world through, I've talked about this before, you only see the world through the filter that you have, right? And so let's say you were raised in an environment that was really unstable and you weren't comfortable knowing that you were going to eat every day. You didn't know that you were really well loved. You didn't feel safe. You didn't feel protected. That person is going to see the world, a particular situation, the same situation much differently than a person might see it who comes from a culture where, let's say, something isn't valued. If someone's in pain, it's like, it's kind of a suck it up bootstrap mentality, or someone who does come from a very loving, reassuring background, right? So it's the same situation, but seen very differently. So anyway, my intention lately, and always, but certainly specifically lately, has been to just really peel back whatever layers may still have been there that could in any way be keeping me from getting to where else I want to be. Yeah. And it sounds really simplistic maybe, but it can be deep, deep, deep. And so I've been spending time doing that. And it's been good. As I said, sometimes you see things that are like, did I think that? Did I have that horrible thought? Was I that person? This is time for a sip of wine. Hold on one second. Sunday evening wine. Yes, I'm back in the DR. I'm back. I've been back for a while. And it's beautiful. Let me say this really quickly about the DR, you guys. So things are changing here. And I will tell you that for those of you who are considering, I'm going to run to the DR because it's so cheap, and it's like this, like an oasis to get away from whatever else, the US or Europe or whatever, and all the crazy policies and expense and rat race type stuff there. Sure, there are aspects of it like that, but I will tell you, it's getting a lot more expensive. I mean, like eating out, for example, is expensive now. I recently had family come visit, and we did a lot of eating out just because, you're showing people around, that's what happens. It was quite expensive, and real estate has gone up. Everything, the cost of food, everything has gone up. So it's not just super cheap. Now, maybe if you're living out away from tourist places. I mean, it's always cheaper when you're not in a tourist spot, but without some of the amenities and things, yeah, I would imagine it's going to be less expensive there. But it's also not going to be, in my opinion, as convenient, in a lot of ways as desirable, because you are separated from the things that make it comfortable. If you're cool living off the grid and you're cool being super basic about some things, then great. But for the rest of you who feel like, yeah, I want to come and cash in on this bargain bonanza, be forewarned that it's not like dirt cheap. It's just not anymore. And it wasn't dirt cheap when I got here. It was very inexpensive, but I definitely see the difference in terms of rentals, in terms of sales of properties, everything. If you buy a car here, just know that you are going to overpay. You're going to overpay. Used cars are expensive. And I imagine that's because of the cost of shipping. The cost of gas is high here. It's like 230 something pesos per gallon, give or take a little bit, which is like $4 or so. It's a small island, so most people aren't driving very much. A lot of people drive motorcycles, so of course small tanks, and I think that's why a lot of Dominicans anyway, and others, use those vehicles. But I see people here in huge Suburbans and stuff, and I'm thinking, how much is it costing you to fill up your car, and why would you have a car that big here? You don't need any fancy car here. The elements are going to wear it out. It's going to get bumped and scraped. It's just, well, thank you, Jace. I do strive to be informative. I drop knowledge. I'm dropping straight knowledge, you guys. So take out your pencil and paper and take some notes. But yeah, so it's not like bargain bonanza. I'm not saying you cannot find a good bargain, but it's not like I think it was in days of old where it was just crazy. There's been, in my opinion, what I say is it's just been a straight up land grab. I think the pandemic, or so-called, whatever your position is, but I think that this whole experience has caused, certainly there are people who've lost a lot of money, who didn't have any cash to be able to purchase with, but for those who did, oh my gosh, they have just been grabbing everything and jacking the prices way up. That's what's happened. And I know, for example, one Dominican guy, a friend of mine, who was doing some work on a house that was being built. He was like laying tile or something, some pretty tough manual labor. And he was telling me, this is maybe a month or two ago, and he came by to visit one day, and he was saying like his back hurt or something, and I was like, I have some ibuprofen, whatever. So I went to get him some, and I said, well, what happened? And he's telling me about this job he was doing, where he was having like be on the floor all day and bend over and doing all this stuff. It was really difficult, hard work. And whatever this villa was, the owner, it was like some big, beautiful villa where the person clearly had a lot of money and all that, and they'd gotten some great deal. I guess the guy knew how much some of the materials, by the way, if you're planning to build, the cost of materials here has gone up by 30%, like huge. Hi, Corey. Anyway, so this guy was saying that he was kind of pissed. He and some of the other guys who were on the job were pissed off because the owner, while he'd gotten this great deal on this property, was then turning around and paying the workers like next to nothing, like the very lowest. Hi, Adam. Just basically kind of taking advantage of people, and how it just really pissed the guys off, because it's like seeing people as though they're just, what is the word? Dispensable, expendable. What's the word? You know what I mean? So there's that. I'm gonna give you another tip in terms of if you are thinking about building something. If you already know that you're gonna build and you have your plans and you know the size, all that kind of stuff, consider buying your materials in bulk, right? So if you need 1,000 bags of cement or whatever, expendable, thank you, exactly. If you know you need X amount of wood or X amount of cement or X amount of stone or something, don't necessarily wait to buy it when you need it. Buy it as soon as possible, so that if the prices go up, you've gotten the benefit of the lower price. And then you don't even have to take it all. You can just have the supplier hold it. And then you can go, hey, I need X more bags of cement. I need X more of whatever. And for them, it's just in their warehouse, where it would have been anyway had they not sold it. So another tip for you. I should be getting paid for this. Can I just say, this is awesome. No, someone shared that with me, so I'm sharing it with you. So that's that about the DR. It's been very, very rainy on and off here. Since I've been back, we have had the dust blow in from the Sahara, so it makes the air, it looks like it's very hazy outside. It's not super clear and blue. Some days it's more so than others. I should get paid for it, right? Like, anyway. So there's been that in terms of the weather. But honestly, it's been a much milder summer than I've ever experienced here before. Usually about this time of year, it is crazy hot. And, you know, I'm taking 2, 3, maybe even 4 showers a day, cool to cold showers to just kind of manage that. But it hasn't been so bad. I mean, it's hot, but it's not crazy hot. So yeah, you guys. Okay, so transformation. So I was talking about this with another friend of mine today. And you want to come on a sex visit to the island? Yeah, I'm not the channel for sex visits. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I was talking about this to someone else earlier, and you made me lose my train of thought. Comment threw me off. Wait a second, let me come back and think what it was I was going to say. Transformation. Here it is. When transformation is occurring, and I had someone tell me this, right? So there's a woman down here, and I did an energy session with her, quantum energy healing session, right? Where it's like, you know, you can have an intention set about it could be anything, it can be your health, your finances, about anything. That's usually like the typical like health, relationships, money, career, you know, it's always those kind of general ones, or there can be more like specific to you. And so anyway, I was doing a session with her, and she was saying, you know, you start experiencing some transformation now as a result of this. And I didn't really know, like, I mean, I understand what that means, but like specifically, how is that going to look? Well, who knows, right? Because we're all different and we process things differently. But I can tell you this, it's like getting broken down before being built back up again. If you've ever been through anything similar, you know what I'm talking about. It can be rough, you guys. It can be rough. And I feel like I have a good life. I mean, I definitely objectively have a good life. I'm comfortable. I have a secure career. I'm healthy. I have a great family. I have plenty of great friends. I have love in my life. You know, there's just a lot of good things. I'm very privileged in a lot of ways, and I have a lot of freedom. You know, I've created a life that I really enjoy. But still, I was like, well, you know, if I've made it to this level, let's try going up here and seeing how much better, you know, how much better can it even get? How much more joy can I experience? How much more pleasure can I experience? How much more laughter? And how much more money can I make? You know, just, and not in an empty way, but just, why not? There's people who, you know, fly in private jets all the time. Why not me? Why not, you know, why can't I have a whole bunch? And then I want to, well, Sylvester, you're going to have to wait. I'm talking about transformation right now. If you want information, write to me at freeislandgirl.com, and I'll send you a link so you can get on my calendar. There you go. And so what I was saying in terms of transformation is, you know, be careful what you wish for, because it's often very challenging to get to next level. So you can look at people who have had a lot of success in life, right? I mean, the typical ones people mention are like Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett, or I mean, Oprah, you know, like major scale, or even like athletes, like what's it called? Like top level athletes, elite athletes. I'm not answering any questions about Las Terrenas or visiting or no. If you want to know that stuff, you can write to me, as I said, at freeislandgirl@gmail.com. Set up an appointment, and I can share those things with you. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. These people, elite athlete, right? So these people, you know, people don't just wake up and are superb. You know, you may be gifted with certain talents, you may be gifted with great intellect or superior ability in whatever area, but even those people are working really hard and practicing, you know, 1 billion hours a day, or doing a bunch of deals, some of which fail and they lose money, or others, you know, where they, who knows, they write 10 manuscripts and nothing gets published, but that 11th one is the one that takes off, right? And so there's a lot of grit and determination involved in succeeding in whatever area you want. And it's the same thing in personal development. It's the same thing if you want to better yourself and move the stuff that we all have at whatever, to whatever extent, like excavate that and move that out of your way so that you can improve, so that you can enhance whatever it is you want in your life. Rest assured, you're going to go through some stuff. It's going to be challenging. And so that is what I've been doing. I'm trying to get back to that. That's what I've been up to, you guys, which meant that I really didn't have space to be chatting on YouTube about anything. I needed all of my energy for me. And I think it's important to be selfish like that sometimes, and to be self-centered, be about yourself, to take care of what you need to take care of to get where you want to be. And so that's what's up, and I've had a lot of people write to me during this time, new viewers, like, hey, I just found your channel and I think it's great. And I'm like, wonderful. I told someone the other day, I was like, I'm on hiatus right now, but there's a whole bunch of videos for you to watch and hope you love it. But I needed and I still need time for myself. So I'm about to disconnect in a few days and just like check out. The people who are close to me will know where I am and what I'm doing. But everybody else, like, I'm on hold. I'm child free for about a month. I'm on vacation from my job. Like, I have zero to actually do. So I don't plan to be answering emails. I don't plan to be. So by the way, if you do email me in the next few days and I don't answer you, this is why, because I'm off doing something for me. I don't know how many of you are like the praying type of people and you may know about the Bible. I know some. I'm not religious, but I definitely have studied some things. But there's a passage, I think, I was telling my friend this tonight, I said, where Jesus goes off like up on a mountaintop or something by himself for a few days after like being with his disciples or in whatever town, because he just needed to be quiet and like hear from God and be clear about like what his next steps were. I'm like that. I feel like this has been happening for a while now. Like I was really thinking I was going to get to go to this meditation retreat, a silent meditation retreat this summer for 10 days, you guys, 10 days of silence. And I was so excited. And then the whole thing, scheduling different things, didn't make it possible. But I've been craving like just silence for a long time. One, because I was talking on YouTube all the time and responding to people. And in my work, I serve clients, so I'm always talking and advising, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have a child, and I can't just be silent around my child. And so there was just a lot of always giving and giving and giving and giving. And I was like, let me give to myself. So I'm not doing the 10-day thing, but I am going to just take some time and try to be still and go inward. And so I highly recommend that, especially if there are those of you out there who maybe like always have the TV on in the background or something, like, you have a hard time with silence. Like if it's just quiet in a room, you gotta like find something to do, or you can't be alone. You always have to be high rock, or you always have to be like in a crowd of people or with people. There's always having to be something around you. It's not a judgment. It's just, maybe ask yourself why. What's the hard part about being still and being quiet? Because that's when you really begin to hear what's going on in your own head. And I think it can be very surprising sometimes when you begin to hear your own thoughts, like, did I think that thought, right? I've had some of that happen already. But yeah, it can be shocking to see what comes up inside of us. So, but I think that's when you get to those nuggets in there. So that's a little bit of kind of what's happening in my world. Yeah, that's my message. Transformation, and being willing to go in. So, all right, I'll entertain a few DR questions right now, if you have them. Anything else that I told you about? Cost of living. Thank you, Corey. So I think it's important to be open on my channel. I mean, it is my channel, and what's the point of being on here if it's just going to be fake? I don't really believe in that. That's not the kind of person I am. learned a lot about myself recently, and definitely where I feel like I maybe was, harsh with someone, or didn't see something, or I see something differently now, I will go and, acknowledge that. Yes, Nicole and I are fine. That, you know what? That thing that happened with Nicole was the first, like, kind of trigger thing that happened. It began the series of these, like, realizations that I began to have. That's absolutely one of them. And I was like, done, pissed. I was open about it, and it was clear with her. But yeah, since then and I took time. I didn't just rush back. I didn't have a lot to say. In fact, I had nothing to say. I'm the kind of person where I'm really, really nice. And I feel like I can be very lenient and patient. But if I feel like someone gets to the point of we go too far, then I'm cold. I just cut you. And so I just cut her off. But we have since, took some time, and I needed to process some things. And so, yeah, it's cool. I saw someone ask about Haiti. We are our mirror images. That is so true. Oh my gosh, this person right here, that is ding, 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 ding. That's exactly it. And so the things that trigger us are huge lessons. And so I had to go into that situation, and others specifically, and look at what is going on here. So definitely. So if you're feeling annoyed or whatever by certain things, go deeper, ask what's happening. Be willing to investigate that, okay? So plenty of mountains and eco lodges here for sure, like meditation. That's kind of where I'm headed, I think, to do something like that. Haiti, let's talk about Haiti really quickly and the terrible assassination that happened there recently. Who really knows? There's a bunch of covert stuff. I don't have any inside information. Where I live, I'm on the complete opposite end of the island from Haiti. I'm on the east coast. Haiti's in the west. And so my town feels the same. I was away. I think I was out of the DR when that happened. And I felt really bad, because Haiti's been destabilized now for so long. And it is a rich country in many ways. It is resource rich. I've said this for so long. So is the DR. I talked to a friend of mine tonight who's from a place called Cotuí, this guy I know, which is really just inland. I was asking, like, where is it exactly? And he was telling me. And I forget how we got to the topic, but basically he was saying that there are gold mines there, Barrigold, right, from Canada, Canadian mining company is in his town, and how they just go in and they ruin the land, and then the water, because of all the runoff of mining, it's like polluted, so the people who live there get sick and blah blah. We've heard this before. So Haiti is also literally sitting on gold. I saw a video on YouTube a while back about Bill Clinton, who basically bought a mountain in Haiti, right? You can Google it or whatever, look on YouTube. And it showed him landing in a helicopter on the top of this mountain, just, Aaron! Hi! It was like, it's not like a Himalayan mountain, right? But just an open space with seemingly nothing around him. And, I asked myself, well, why would Bill Clinton be going to this very remote place? And then, what is that about? No schools that I could see, no nothing. Although at one point he had like this photo op with a little Haitian girl in his lap and some other people and stuff. Well, there are resources there. And not so long ago, some years ago, Tony Rodham, who is Hillary Rodham Clinton's brother, owned, I think he had exclusive rights to the gold mining in Haiti. Now remember the Clinton Foundation, and when the earthquake happened and they amassed all these millions of dollars to help Haiti, and you can go to Haiti right now and look around, where'd that money go, right? So meanwhile, Tony Rodham is no longer living. I don't know what happened to him, but I don't say he turned up dead, but he died for whatever reason. So there's you don't need a COVID test to come into the DR now. There some sketchy behavior around that. And then Bill Clinton's back, and, and then, so my question about so back to the president. This is the president of a country, you guys. This is not just your PTA president. Where was his security? How could people just walk up in his house at nighttime? So obviously there was some complicit behavior, right? There are people in on this, that's clear. Now, who was it and why? As someone told me just tonight, you have to have a test. Yes, you have to have a negative COVID test to come back to the States. Someone told me just tonight that someone who was running for political office here in the DR, that person's private plane was used to transport somebody in and out of Haiti, having to do something with an assassination. So it's like, I don't know. There's all these theories and things floating around. Who knows? I know somebody who works with the UN who's done a lot of work in Haiti, and I spoke with him just a few days ago here in my town, and he was saying it's just a mess, right? So now the US is talking about sending the FBI down there and sending Marines to stabilize, quote unquote, destabilize the country. And they're about to extract a bunch of, this is about money, right? Money and power. I read something that it was because the president of Haiti refused the COVID vaccine because there were like zero to very few cases of COVID in Haiti, because they're using like natural things. They just are living naturally, meaning eating certain plants that are known to be antiviral. I did a video way back when at the beginning of the pandemic on natural antiviral things like garlic and turmeric and blah blah, oregano, whatever. I had some little old lady here tell me, oh, use oregano oil and that, make tea out of it, oregano leaves, and it's going to kill a virus. So, but because he wasn't playing ball, essentially, the president, and allowing the vaccine to happen, to be administered, thereby denying pharmaceutical companies millions of dollars. Exactly. Him and the Tanzania president, and I think Burundi, the other country in Africa, where the president said, no, you're not doing this. Mysteriously, they turn up dead. I don't know. These are theories, but things that make you go, what's going on? If you know anything about Haitian history, it's been a country that has been beset by all kinds of terrible stuff for many, many years. The French extracted, obviously there's slavery and, colonialism and all that, but beyond that, they just stole gold and oil. The oil reserves, I understand, rival like the Middle East. Like there's huge oil deposits underneath Haiti, and I don't know, but I've heard and or read things like, for example, fracking, where they're intentionally mining like beneath or between the tectonic plates, and it kind of that creates earthquakes, right? Because they're like blowing up stuff underneath there, searching for oil, and then that disrupts the natural, I guess, balance of something in the earth, and then causes earthquakes. I don't know, you guys. There's, of course, Westerns are white, doesn't like Haiti at all, especially because they became independent. They're still paying for kicking ass. Let's just be clear. They're still paying for that. How dare they become an independent, sovereign Black nation? They're going to be paying forever. And it's a shame, because it is a phenomenally beautiful country, physically, geographically beautiful. The culture is rich. The culture is still very much intact with a lot of African traditions. So the religion, the food, community, a lot of just ancient wisdom is there, and a lot of people don't want that to exist. So kind of an overview. So that's my take on Haiti. Yeah, the only independent Black nation in the Western Hemisphere. It was the first, and it is the only true. I believe it's still the only one, right? Ethiopia is another one that was never colonized. The Italians tried briefly, but they were not successful. They got their butts kicked. Now, they've had things stolen from them, right? The crowns and different jewels from Ethiopia. Yes, pray for Haiti, Gardy, I agree with you. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in the world right now, you guys. There's been weird things for a long, long time, but it just seems really odd to me that a lot of things are happening concurrently, right? If we look back at the past year or so at the outbreak, the sudden and extreme outbreak of this virus, where within a matter of days, the whole world shut down, right? The whole world, like clink, 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 borders are shut. And then all of a sudden, everybody's saying, okay, we have to vaccinate the entire world. and then, upheaval around racial things and political, just a lot of destabilizing factors. And all along I felt like, this seems awfully strange to be happening all at the same time. So I'm no prophet. I just think what I think, I feel what I feel. I would say though, pay attention. Media pandemic, all pre-planned. I just say, think for yourselves, Here's my question about the vaccine, because I read this recently. The people who have been vaccinated are getting COVID. It's like, wait a minute. Or there's a concern that, okay, what's the other part? It's like, I can't remember the other part I was going to say, but basically it's like, why, if they're still concerned about unvaccinated, if you have the vaccine and someone around you is not vaccinated, why are you worried, right? If you have protection, what's the problem? I'm not taking a stand, I'm just asking questions. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. And, here's another thing. And so here's something interesting. So here in the DR, I got on WhatsApp a message from like a group. It was a group of parents at a particular school. And I got, hi Kansas City, and I got this message. It was a video clip, maybe 7 or so, 10 minutes long, whatever, that was about these people letting Dominicans know, like, here's what's really going on with this vaccine. And they were saying, we want people to be aware, because when you get the vaccine, and I guess wherever, you have to sign some form that says, I accept any side effects. I'm waiving my right to sue the manufacturer, the people who administer it, including like nurses or whoever who are giving the shots. Like, I waive all my rights. I'm taking this knowing the risks. Who really knows the risks? We don't even know what's in it, right? But of course, most people don't even know. I mean, there's illiteracy is pretty high here. So of course, there are many people who have no idea what they're signing. And even if you are quite literate, most people are not reading all of that. They're just like, okay, scribble, scribble. And then, no, I've not been vaccinated. I'm definitely on the fence. I have my doubts. I'm cautious. I'm negative. I've been tested repeatedly. I'm negative. Skipping informed consent, that's what it is. Waiving liability. There you go. So there's no recourse against manufacturers. There's no recourse at all. And so then I saw this video the other day of supposedly actual people who have taken the vaccine all across. This was the U.S. people all across the U.S. They've taken the different, like the Pfizer and Moderna and whatever the different brands are. And I guess they've been having difficulty, different side effects, like apparently very serious ones. And that's not being, at least very much, publicized from what I could gather from this video. So, I'm not trying to come down on either side of it. I'm just saying, Aaron, I'm trying to be cautious about my language. I'm being cautious about my language. I have particular thoughts. And I felt pressured from some people telling me you have to do it, it's really irresponsible of you, and how could you, and your child, and all this. I'm like, there just seem to be a lot of inconsistencies to me. And my question is like, why not, let's talk about building up health. Let's talk about providing good food for people. Let's talk about doing things that are actually going to be beneficial. Like, how is it that during the pandemic they're telling people stay indoors, don't be in the sun, don't, like, all these things that are naturally going to help you. I live in a place where there's beautiful, abundant light and salt water and, healthy stuff. Why would I want to stay inside and be away from that? Why would I want to cover myself up? And, so yeah, I spoke to a friend of mine today, a Dominican guy, and I was like, have you been vaccinated? He's like, no. I said, why? And he's like, same thing, some doubts. Like, there's just too many inconsistencies. Thank you, Aaron. I'm being not cagey, not covert, but the third booster shot, exactly. Now we need a third one? First it's like, okay, 2. Then they're going, no, now there's, what is it, Johnson? One of them has just 1 shot. Now there's a third one. Oh, and by the way, there's a Delta variant. Oh, and now a Lambda variant. I mean, come on. Okay, so there's no protection is what you're saying. So this thing will mutate, and we're not really, I'm done with that. I'm done with that, you guys. The Great Reset for. Okay, thank you guys. I will check that out. Yeah, so Haiti, destabilization. What I say is this, you guys, because I think it's easy to become overwhelmed by what's happening in the world. I mean, this is throughout history, right? It's very intentional to destabilize people, to destabilize populations, whether it's through religion or whatever type of mind control or fear tactics and propaganda. Like that's nothing new, right? This is potentially another version of that. And what I say is the way that we can address this is individually. And I'm not talking about convincing anybody to believe what you believe, pro or con. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying do what you can do for yourself, to put yourself in the best possible health, to put yourself in the best possible, to be as informed as possible. Yeah, to live a happy, joyful, healthy life, and to be at peace, first with yourself and then with others. So it's like molecules, and I've said this before too, a long time ago. But if each one of us is a molecule, the healthier I am, the more I'm going to attract other healthy molecules and have healthy interactions with the environment around me. So I'm going to be contributing to well-being, right? If I am a positively charged molecule. And if there are other negatively charged molecules around me, I'm not going to be communing with them. We're not going to be on the same wavelength, literally. So they'll go clump someplace else, but I will be like connecting with others that have similar beliefs and practices and things like that. And so it's not about convincing anybody, because how's it religious and yeah, I didn't see that whole comment. It's interesting though. Let me just say this. You get my point about the positive molecule thing. I think in order to affect change, I think it's too hard to think about solutions in huge sweeping measures, because there's so many different little pieces involved, like, healthcare for a nation, or, certain policies worldwide. Great ideas, but individually, I think it's much easier to help people understand what that's about. So me as an individual, myself as a family member, our family, our neighbors, our friends, our community, right? So it's like throwing a rock in a lake, and the touch point is where the work begins, that positive building stuff begins, and then the ripples are how it impacts those around us. And the more of us that are making that positive, splash in the water, the greater the effect will be. So that's what I have to say about that. Someone made a comment, DR, and that was an interesting comment about sort of the contrast, the juxtaposition between, so the DR is primarily a Catholic country, Catholic Christian, and religion is definitely very influential and very controlling in a lot of ways here, like it has been every place forever. In fact, when I had family visiting, we were in Santo Domingo recently and saw the Pope mobile. Resonance, yes, exactly. Vibration, frequency, it is so powerful. If you don't know about that stuff, you guys, please look it up. Understand how manifesting can be affected by your frequency, and your thoughts have frequencies. It's too much to go into right now, but it's, if you don't know, you'll know. It's definitely getting out there. But so the DR, has been, well, they were influenced by Spain, right? Catholicism and the Pope controlling things and all that. And so right now, for example, abortion is illegal in the DR. And whatever your position is on abortion, okay. But of course, women are disproportionately affected naturally, like no men are having abortions. Men are affected, right, because of family members or what have you, wives, daughters, whatever. But it's women who are actually experiencing the trauma of either having an abortion or not being able to have one. And so there is a movement right now in this country called Los Tres Causales, the three causes. And what it's about is that they are, like, abortion is just across the board banned, no matter what, no matter rape, no matter incest, no matter nothing. If you get pregnant, you're stuck having a baby. And there's a girl whose name, gosh, I can't think of her name right now, but she was a young girl. She got pregnant because of some incest in her family. And it was also discovered that she had some type of leukemia. And it was either basically allow her to abort this baby so they could give her certain medications or something like that. Long story short, they both died because she was not allowed, like they would not allow anyone to perform this procedure on her so that the medication could take effect. So this young girl, maybe 16 years old or something like that, like very young, and her baby died. So the los tres causales, the three causes, are what they're trying to present essentially legislation that would say, okay, in three extreme situations, much like in the US where there's like no late term abortion kind of thing, in three cases, if it's incest, rape, and I think the mother's life is at risk, then they would allow an abortion to be granted. So that's the push right now. That's what the activists are shooting for, to at least allow some limited access to abortions in those cases. Now you can appreciate and how in a Catholic country, very religious, totally against that, you know. A lot of girls do have sex very young here, get pregnant very, very young. And so, you know, and a lot of people are not either not educated at all or not well educated. And so it's just a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. Not a whole lot to do, not a whole lot of opportunity here. People are poor, many of them. You know, you have sex, it's hot, sultry, everything's sensual, the music sounds good, the food tastes good, people are beautiful, like, hey, sex is natural anyway. So there's definitely a push. If you're interested in that, if you're interested in learning about some of the women are up against here and who's trying to help, check that out. Hashtag los causales. It's CAUSALES. So there's that. So yeah, religion plays a major role. I think that because they want the children. Okay, wait. So this whole thing now about like all this nasty occult, crazy, like child sacrificing, and like Hollywood has all this. Have you guys heard about that at all? I mean, the whole Jeffrey Epstein and who was involved in that ring of like child trafficking, child sex trafficking. Bill Clinton was seen with Jeffrey, what's his name, Epstein, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, a bunch of people who've been caught up in strange things over the years. It's very dark. And adrenochrome, is that like some drug they gave them to make them pass out, then they would rape girls or like harvest them? I don't know. I've read some very dark and spooky things about all that stuff. I try to keep myself away from some of that because I try to protect my portals, what I read, what I listen to, just try to protect my portals from that because there's some sinister stuff in the world. Once again, be the positive molecule. Be careful if you're sitting around watching CNN or some other whatever thing all day, ingesting all this news, supposed news about what's happening in the world or whatever. Like, okay, who controls the media? You know, I don't miss it. Oh, here's the thing. So when I was back in the US, here's an example. I was struck, number one, I always have sticker shock when I go back because I'm like, this doesn't really cost that much. Why is it, 3 times the price? Whatever. Food, cell phone bill, whatever. It's just way too expensive in the US. People are just being robbed. They're being allowed, corporations are being allowed to just completely loot the country for sure. But the other thing I really noticed when I was there was the drug commercials. Every other commercial on TV, it seems like, is some crazy drug commercial. Treat yourself with this. If you have pain in your ear, take this. And they see people like pushing someone on a swing or like running through a field or canoeing or something. Or if you've got, eczema, it's like people are self-diagnosing now with commercials. Oh, I had that pain. Oh, I have whatever trouble breathing after I go running. Yeah, that's because you need to run some more maybe, But everything's like the solution is, with happy music in the background, But everything, the solution is take a pill, take a pill, take a pill, take a pill. Not how about, hey, live a healthy life, get off work earlier, eat some healthy food, put that burger down. No, don't drive through. That's not really convenient. It's actually quite inconvenient because it's going to cost you more in the long run. Like, it's just so warped. It is so warped there. So all that I think is dark, occult, and at very high levels, it's true, right? Like, it's kind of scary. Human teleportation. Well, here I am. You saw yourself meeting someone like me, here I am. I try to bring the light, I bring the love and the light, because there's just some strange stuff out there, you guys. So that's why I said I needed to just get offline for a while and just really take care of myself. Truthful advertising, I don't think so. I don't think so. The propaganda is deep. Propaganda is deep. And then you look at like who owns these different media companies. There's like really only sort of 3 major media companies, and then they own everything else. And so, I was looking at something that talked about, look at some certain cartoons, Disney and things, like why does a mother always get killed? The parents are always getting killed off, and there's different like occult symbols that are sort of like flashed. You wouldn't necessarily know it just by watching a cartoon or watching a commercial or whatever, because it's supposedly subliminal. I don't know how all that stuff works, like certain images or like shapes they put in it that always like say like sex or evil or whatever. And apparently there's certain symbols like a checkerboard floor, or people like Cardi B in some of her videos has had on like black and white checkered clothes, and that's supposed to signify mind control, meaning that she and whoever else, Katy Perry and whoever, Jay-Z and Beyonce, all of them have sold themselves to the devil to achieve all this great success. It's mind-boggling, and it's too deep. And so I check out some of that stuff, and then I'm like, let me go back to the sunshine and the happiness and the positivity. So that's how I'm living, you guys. Anyway, anywho, as a friend of mine says, I'm well, processing, transforming, getting better. I'll tell you guys this, in my video with Sharon, do I second what she says with my personal experience? You're talking about the sex video with Sharon. So that is Sharon's own unique experience. I have not had an experience like that where people are approaching me. I mean, look, I get approached all the time. I have, I get a lot of attention from men here, but I don't have any, no, I haven't had any kind of experience like that. No, crypto is not a thing here in DR that I'm aware of. Nobody's talking about crypto. Certainly not the locals. No. I mean, you can ask someone about that stuff. Maybe there's like a bit of a conversation, but not that I'm aware of. That doesn't mean it's not happening. It doesn't mean they don't have cryptocurrency markets, because those do exist here. But at least where I'm living and the people that I'm dealing with, never ever comes up in conversation. When I have those conversations, I'm talking to people outside of this country for sure, mainly people in the U.S. I saw some other questions, but I didn't catch them all. Domestic violence, yes, it is common in the DR. I don't think I know anybody who's engaged in domestic violence. I've not ever been told or seen somebody who looked like, that I was aware of was harming someone or who has been harmed, but I've heard that the numbers are very high. I used to work as a bilingual attorney at a domestic violence legal clinic when I was in Oakland years ago. And those clients were mostly, thank you, Aaron. I'm touching on things. I'm just trying to touch on things and bring some awareness to stuff and, tap on people's consciousness a bit. But as far as domestic violence, it was the clients, the Spanish-speaking clients there were mainly Mexican and Central American. And so that was a very challenging job. So I learned a lot about sort of the cycles of that. And I don't doubt that those things exist here. I'm just not up close and personal with anyone that I know of who's having that experience, thankfully. I come in peace. And so maybe the people I'm around are also peaceful. I don't know. So I saw a few things you guys were talking about, Bitcoin, and I don't know what else. So, Warren Buffett. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you do your own research and you follow who you follow, and if you feel like you want to invest in one thing or another. Gold, I think, is still a solid investment. Precious metals, real estate. You got to do what's right for you guys. So that's what I have to say tonight. It is, I think it's about time for me to get off and spend some time. I don't know, Horace. I mean, we'll see what happens with crypto. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Interesting. Hang on, my little meditation thing. Anyway, you guys, I'm well. I'm going to go do my own personal retreat and be quiet for a while and see what happens. So I'm back, and life's good. Thank you guys. Live stream my meditation and yoga. I'm not going to live stream my meditation because it would just be me being quiet and introspective. By the way, I don't always do meditation like just sit and close my eyes. That's kind of hard for me sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like watching the clouds drift by or in the shower or driving in the car, like really just being in another space with it. So you were getting worried. I'm okay. I'm okay. You know, it is challenging sometimes going through these up-leveling experiences. The transformation can be like a trip. Like, what is going on? Why is everything falling apart all at once? How come I don't understand this stuff? But I'm good. All right. So yeah, feel free to contact me. If any of you out there, when I finish with the stream, I'm going to put on my Calendly link, which is my scheduling link. If you want to schedule a time to chat with me, it's fine. I can tell you this week I'm checking out, like I said, so it will be Thursday or later. Otherwise, feel free. Okay. Love you guys. Be positive. Be the positive molecule. Spread it around. Okay. Bye, you guys. Are you contacted my realtor? Excellent. You'll be in great hands. So they are all over the country and a lot of good stuff being done. All right. And so I actually speak one last thing. So about the realtor, I talked to them recently. I'm going to go to probably the North Coast, soon, meaning Cabarete, Sosua, up in that area, and do another real estate video with someone up there. So if you're interested in real estate in another part of the country, stay tuned and I will show you some properties up there. All right, you guys? Hope you like it. I love you. Take care. Have a good night. Bye.